Hello, my name is Grant Himes. The speech I have chosen for this analysis is the Berlin Wall speech given by United States President Ronald Reagan. Reagan was the 40th President of the United States from 1981 through 1989. The speech is known for Reagan's demand, aimed at Soviet Union dictator Mikhail Gorbachev to, quote, tear down this wall. The wall Reagan was referring to was the Berlin Wall, which separated the Western German-controlled West Berlin and the Soviet-controlled East Berlin. The main issue behind the wall is that it prevented people from the East from entering the West, which had much better living conditions, and this was considered a major human rights issue at the time. Reagan also spends time in his speech talking about the nuclear arms race and why denuclearization is important. Overall, Reagan's main purpose for the speech was for the removal of the Berlin Wall. The most prevalent major appeal in this speech is that of ethos. Reagan establishes ethos, or authority, as he is the President of the United States, one of the most globally respected positions. Reagan also relates to previous President John F. Kennedy's trip to Berlin in 1963, which further establishes his authority. This is similar to how Martin Luther King Jr. relates to Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, with the use of the word score. Reagan's use of ethos helps compel the public to support his views of removing the Berlin Wall by establishing his and his predecessors' authority on the topic. Reagan also uses logos in the speech, such as within the portion referring to nuclear weapons. Reagan references the growing nuclear threat of the Soviet Union and how it must be disarmed. This is logical, as nuclear weapons do not offer benefit to either nation and only serve to further escalate tensions. These growing tensions could eventually result in total nuclear annihilation. Attempting to disarm both the US and USSR would serve to remove this as a potential threat. This overall logical argument provides evidence for trying to reduce tensions between the US and USSR. The most prevalent surface feature with this speech is definitively syntax, along with a few examples of imagery. Reagan clearly uses syntax in the form of word repetition when he clearly mentions how freedom leads to economic prosperity. Freedom leads to prosperity. Freedom replaces the ancient hatreds among the nations with comity and peace. Freedom is the victor. Reagan obviously nails down how freedom is a positive in all cases, which directly goes with his purpose of removing the Berlin Wall, which is a literal barrier to this freedom. Reagan also uses imagery as he describes the Berlin Wall itself. From the Baltic south, those barriers cut across Germany in a gash of barbed wire, concrete, dog runs, and guard towers. Reagan paints a horrifying picture of the wall, with words like gash and barbed emphasizing the true evil this wall represents. The American value that is most prevalent within the speech is the American value of change. The Berlin Wall is a direct opponent to this change, as it seeks to prevent information from entering the Soviet Union and the people of the Soviet Union from leaving. This is a direct barrier to change within the country. Reagan specifically emphasizes the change with this quote: "We welcome change and openness, for we believe that freedom and security go together, that the advance of human liberty can only strengthen the cause of world peace." Reagan clearly states that he believes change to be important for the continuation of world peace. Without change, with the continued suppression of thought within the Soviet Union, tensions between the US and the USSR would continue to rise. This seeking of change, the change being the collapse of the Berlin Wall and the denuclearization of both nations, goes directly with the American value of change, as it embraces new ideas and progress, while the Soviet censorship tactics, which attempt to reduce the public's want for change, go directly against this value. Thank you for watching.